Hey there, fellow classic comic collectors. As always, I'm Scott Harris King, and today I'm back with another haul video. I went back to Outer Limits in Waltham, Mass. You may remember last time I was there, I got some really cool stuff, including the Classic Adventures into the Unknown 58 with the robot cover. So I wanted to go back. I try and get back there every so often because they do get in new stuff, and it's a place that has a lot of weird and offbeat stuff you're not going to get anywhere else. Yes, it has the mainstream stuff as well, but there's like whole boxes and boxes of like Silver Age and late Golden Age war books, horror, Dell, Charlton, Archie's, like, you know, not the Marvel and DC stuff, but some of the offbeat stuff. ACG, they've got like a whole long box ACG. So I went through all the cool stuff today, and I came away with a few things, some impulse purchases, some stuff that maybe I didn't need, but also some stuff that I definitely did need. So let's just go through everything right here. Starting with Barney Bear Wakes Up. It's a Spire Christian comic from Al Hartley. I'm slowly putting together a set of all of these. Now, most of them I've only been paying like $1 for, and I've been trying to get it on the cheap. This was $6. I've heard that Barney Bear is one of the more difficult ones to find. My particular interest is in the Archie ones, and I'm down to just like 3 of them, but from what I understand, they're the hardest of the Archie ones to find. So, no surprise, I guess, that I haven't found those. But Barney Bear Wakes Up is one that I haven't seen before. I do need to like go through all of my Spire books and put together a checklist so I can remember what I need. But this is one that I just hadn't seen before, so I wanted to pick it up while I had the chance. Total impulse purchase here. I mentioned the ACG boxes. I looked through all of those. And this is Gasp number 3. And it's got this weird war cover where the ghost of the soldier is shooting people down. I love the black and white logo with the painted cover. And this is actually in really nice shape. As you can see, it's a 12-cent issue. ACG never got past 12 cents. I think they went out of business in '67. But I love the little 12-cent and the circle logo. As I mentioned, this is actually in really nice shape. Usually with ACGs, mid-grade is about as good as you're going to get. This is actually a little bit better than that. I mean, depending on your definition of mid-grade. I'd say it's at least a 7.5. It's, you know, the back cover is dirty, and there's a non-color breaking crease in the back cover. That could all come out with a press and clean. There's a very, very faint color breaking crease on the front cover. Is just very tiny right here in the hat right there. But other than that, you know, a few spine ticks, blunted corners, that's it. So really, really nice for an ACG book, really tight, flat, just really nice. I got another ACG book that is none of those things, but it's really cool. It's John Force Magic Agent number 3. Now, I have another issue of John Force Magic Agent, which I'm hoping is not issue 3. I think the other one I have is issue 1 or 4, but I don't know. You can see it's the worst thing that can happen to a secret agent or a superhero. It's a seagull absconding with your magic coin. So anyway, John Force is actually in the public domain. Some of his appearances, not all of them, but the character's in the public domain, so as a result, I'm actually using John Force in my series, The Crime Busters. So I've been trying to pick up the John Force issues when I see them cheap. This is only $4. It is lower grade, but nice early 60s book. You can tell by the ad on the back, because I know this was an ad that was earlier in the 60s. So cool to have that. Speaking of cool, this is actually in really nice shape. Again, probably a 7.5. Maybe a 7. It's got a little bit of a tick there by the top staple. But $7 for a comic I've never actually seen in person before. It's Tex Dawson Gunslinger with this great Jim Steranko cover. So I try and pick up some of these offbeat Steranko books when I have a chance with the Steranko covers. But this is one that I hadn't seen. I've seen pictures of it online, but I've never actually come across a copy in person. And again, it's a really nice copy, presents beautifully, great colors. You know, with the image, the red stuff, but the reds are a great contrast to the blue, you know, semi-frame up there. So anytime you can get like a classic Steranko cover for $7 from, you know, the 20-cent era. This is when he around the 20-cent period, he did a number of covers. It's kind of the last regular gig he did at Marvel was a bunch of different covers for some weird books like Doc Savage and stuff like that. But this is one that I haven't seen before in person, so I picked that up. Really excited to get that. One thing about Outer Limits is that they have a nice romance section. Although I have to say, every time I go there, it's smaller and smaller. They still have some cool stuff there, right? They have several Kirby issues of Young Romance from the Golden Age with Kirby covers. Not the photo. They have some of the photo covers, but they also have some that actually have Kirby drawn covers. And they have, you know, they have some other cool stuff. But the pickings are getting slim, and yet they continue to get new stuff in. So there's stuff here they definitely didn't have last time I was there, including this. Now, I've never seen one of these in the wild before. I don't think. There's two different Charlton books that have similar Beatles covers. And there's one that I got a couple copies of a few years ago at a convention and did really well on eBay. This one's lower grade. It cost me $20. But I'll probably end up flipping on eBay. Anyway, it's Teen Confessions 37 with the Beatles cover. So you can see there, bring on the Beatles. It's also got this woman slapping a guy who's grabbing her by the arms. She was the boss's daughter and no man could touch her. Don't miss the starting story. I'm too good for you. That's one takeaway. But that's not the kind of caption that I would put for this picture, because this guy is just grabbing this woman, and I think she has every right to slap him. So maybe I'm too good for you isn't the appropriate response to that. But anyway, Beatles are the big draw here. Again, I probably won't keep this one. I'll probably flip it. Particularly since it's Charlton, it probably is musty. But even though it's lower grade, definitely has some condition issues on the front cover. You know, it's tight and it's flat, so it's not too bad. I checked the eBay real quick. Like, there's a recent one that's over 40 that was a little bit nicer. That was an auction, but to buy it now is a handful of them on there. The cheapest is 200. So I think I might be able to do okay with this. If you know, I can price it less than 200, just drastically undercut those people. And someone that maybe has been wanting this for the collection, but didn't want to pay that much, might grab it. I don't know. We'll see. No big deal. It's only $20. And even when I flip these, it's cool to have had them. You know what I mean? Like, it's cool to own these books, even if it's only for a short time. The older I get, the more I'm like, you know, nothing's permanent in these collections. So just being able to have had the experience of finding it and owning it for a while is cool enough. But here's a couple that I will hopefully keep. I was really happy to see these. Now, this first one is lower grade. And I don't know what the number is, because this was during the period where Charlton wasn't putting numbers on the cover. But it's My Secret Life, which is a romance series, but it's featuring Sue and Sally Smith, flying nurses. Now, pretty sure the numbering, they eventually took over the title. It was changed to Sue and Sally Smith, flying nurses, and because I do have one issue of that from later in the run, which is extremely musty, so I'll probably have to get rid of it. But you can see Sue and Sally are about to parachute out into a flaming inferno. Pilot saying, I hate to send you two girls into that raging forest fire. And then Sally says, Dr. Jim's urgent call said he needed our help. Ready, Sue? Ready, Sally. So these fearless flying nurses are going to just parachute right down into that fire. So that's really cool. And speaking of Nurses in Love, and you all know how much I love Nurses in Love, I was really happy to get this. It's an issue of Nurse Betsy Crane. Again, no number on it. So it's from 1963. It's got the same ad on the back. And when I look close at this, it says right on the back, rush your latest 1963 coin catalog. This is in really nice shape. Now, there is a big crease on the bottom, or, you know, a smaller crease actually on the bottom left corner. But for a Charlton of this period, here's the little crease here. You can just see it there. Great colors, but it's really flat and tight and very clean. Great color on this. And so pick up, anytime I can get any of their nurse, you know, comics, I pick them up. At last, love had come to Nurse Betsy Crane. Brilliant surgeon Dr. Orman loved her as much as she loved him. Was this romance to last? Don't miss Labor of Love. She looks so smug right there. And he looks like he is gotta be at least 20 years older than she is. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that their romance is not to last, because they never last, because there's always a new doctor in the next issue that they're in love with. But very excited. It's hard to find these, but to find one in really nice shape is really hard. So I was really excited to get this one. And then finally, I've got mixed feelings about you know, oversized comics, but I had to get this when I saw it. It was only $10, and a lot of these big comics are getting more and more expensive, but they have quite a big selection of them when you first walk in to Outer Limits. Right there is a big rack of all of these, and I don't think I've seen the Archie one before, but it's Christmas and Archie. Not Christmas with Archie. It's just Christmas and Archie. But here it is. And we've got a big Archie on the back cover as well. So that was really cool. It's you know, it's not in great shape, but for $10, I thought it was a good pickup. So anyway, a lot of cool stuff here, stuff you don't see very often, really sort of offbeat, off the beaten path comics, and that's the kind of place I like. Those are the kind of comics I like. So let me know what you think down below, and I'll see you next time.